I just found one of the most complete FIFA mods of all time, and you guys need to know about it. I installed the big classic patch, and it will change the way you play career mode forever. I've got it installed right here in my FIFA mod manager. All 4 parts are applied and ready to go. And you know I couldn't resist. I can't get enough of this mod action. So I've got a couple more extras running in the background and applied to my game. So here is my current mod list setup. And we're gonna do what we do best and ignore the current title update. Let's activate offline mode and get this mod fired up. If you just enjoy a little bit of football history in your life, this retro mod is the real deal. With over 4,000 players created and added to the database, over 1,000 real classic player faces added from old FIFAs, and boasting over 100 classic teams to play with, retro graphics, classic kits, classic logos. The nostalgia will be off the charts today, so let's check it out. As always, I'll leave the link to the mod down in the description for you guys to go and download, try out for yourselves, and support the mod creator Shadowboy32, who's notorious for making all kinds of retro mods and crazy mods for the FIFA scene. Once you've downloaded and installed the big classic patch, what you want to do is come on over to your settings, hit profile and load squads. If you're like me, you've got a whole bunch of random squad files to choose from, but you want to scroll all the way down to the big classic patch career edition for FC25, load them up. To verify your changes, just save the squads on a different slot if you're having some issues, but it should be in working order. You've done everything right, and you guessed it, the international scene. And the way you can tell it's a retro classic squad is if the players have that little gold shiny badge behind them in the team sheets. And from first glance, you can already see how different the Premier League is looking with all the classic badges, all the logos, some different teams even up here. The database has just been completely revolutionized. It's like we've reset things back to the 90s, back to the early 2000s. And what the mod has done is not only added the retro club badges, but combined some of the best players for that club from past and present and just transferred them all into the one team. Think of it as an all-time 11. For example, PSG have their old badge and they've got players from all kinds of different eras like Cavani and Ibrahimovic up top. Mbappe's back, Neymar's back, Thiago Silva, Marquinhos, Makelele, Ginola. And if you haven't noticed already, some of them have their classic 2D mini faces from that time. So Lazio and Hummels, I can already recognize those photos from like FIFA 13. Depending on what team you select, you get some brand new players that have never made an appearance in FIFA before. They're from like the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. Some of them even throw it so far back that their photos are in black and white. This mod lets you delve into the archives where you can not only relive but learn football history like we've never seen before through a modern medium like video games. We could do it in the past with movies and TV shows, but I think we can all agree that interacting through a video game is way more of an immersive experience. Like we've all heard of that Hungarian golden generation from the 1950s that many claimed were good enough to win multiple World Cups. They've obviously never been in a FIFA game before and probably never will be. Like most of these players' photos are in black and white, and now we can learn all about them. Whether you want to match them up against some of the greatest teams from that time in kickoff, explore what other hidden treasures they had in their national team setup that weren't good enough to be called up to the senior squads. Oh my days, who remembers this guy from Euro 2016? The goalkeeper with the grey sweatpants. The streets will never forget you, Kirillai. And not only for Hungary, might I add, it goes for every single nation. And England, don't even get me started, man. This mod is a football historian's dream. Why not create a modern day custom tournament to see which one of these all-time teams would come out on top in a straight league, group and knockout, or just straight up knockout tournament. It single-handedly transforms FC25 into the ultimate nostalgic sandbox mode where you can test out players that you've never heard of before, learn more about your nation, learn more about your club, and even create your own career mode save and enter a custom custom career mode world with this entire retro database applied. And that's where we get to see the beauty of retro managers added to the game. Oh, we are getting spoiled today, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a young Jurgen Klopp before he moved to Liverpool, the mighty Louis van Gaal at Bayern Munich, Matthias Sammer at Stuttgart, and Jurgen Klinsmann at Hertha Berlin. We've even got a guy down in the Liga, Gerald Vanneberg. I've got no idea who he is, but he's included in this mod. As we switch on over to France, Claude Puel is managing at Lille. We've got Thierry Henry at his boyhood club Monaco. I believe he had a brief stint managing them a couple years back. Didier Deschamps, not only the French national team manager, but operating at club level with Marseille, and Thomas Tuchel. He's back at PSG instead of managing England. And speaking of England, oh my days, Arsene Wenger is back in the game, managing at Arsenal. We've got a young Jose Mourinho back when he first took over at Chelsea. David Moyes has returned to Merseyside with Everton. Rafa Benitez is at Liverpool. We've got Big Sam at Bolton, Gareth Southgate at Middlesbrough, even Graham Souness managing Newcastle. Brendan Rodgers returns to the King Power Stadium at Leicester. We've got Mark Hughes managing Blackburn. Pep, of course, is at City. We're rewinding it back to the glory days at Old Trafford, and you absolutely love to see it. But we've got more managers to go through, more managers to cover. Over in Denmark, Michael Laudrup is actually managing Brøndby. Over in Belgium, we've got the likes of Vincent Kompany, Dirk Kuyt, who's actually managing at Beerschot in real life anyways, and then Mikkel Prudhomme in charge of Standard Liège. Austria has Hans Krankel. The Turkish Super League has some hidden gems in here, the likes of Frank Rijkaard at Galatasaray, Vicente Del Bosque. Something's wrong with his face and or hair, but the World Cup winning Spaniard is in the game, Arda Turan, as Nuri Sahin's back at Antalyaspor. The Netherlands are stacked with Ronald Koeman at Ajax, Ruud Gullit managing Feyenoord, Erik ten Hag is back at Utrecht, he's no longer unemployed, Ronald's brother Erwin, Arne Slot at AZ, and two I've got no clue about, both Tommy Stroot, the German, and Johan Neeskens. Portugal don't get fitted with any retro managers, unfortunately. Even the rest of the world gets shown some love though with two Romanians, both Ilie Dumitrescu and Mircea Lucescu. Romania get a cheeky trio, but most notably George Hagi, the former legend / icon card in FIFA. Scotland sees the return of Big Ange in charge at Celtic and Steven Gerrard at Rangers. And Spain have footballing royalty joining their ranks with Johan Cruyff back at Barcelona. Two El Clasico club legends like Zinedine Zidane returning to the Bernabeu. Luis Enrique's back at Celta Vigo, Lopetegui's at Sevilla, and even Clarence Seedorf. He's in charge of Deportivo La Coruña. I didn't even cover the lower tiers in England. We've got more managers hidden down here, like Frank Lampard at Derby County. That season with Mason Mount, we got the most so close to Prem promotion. Sean Dyche is back in charge at Burnley with Brexit Ball, and the legendary Brian Robson managing West Brom, as we have Carlos Carvajal managing Sheffield Wednesday, Russell Martins at Swansea, Eddie Howe's return to Bournemouth, and the 2013 Wigan FA Cup winners. They're running it back with club icon Roberto Martinez. So the career save ideas and possibilities you could pull off with this mod is just incomprehensible. It's crazy to think that we're going to have the likes of young Mourinho, Wenger, Sir Alex, Big Sam, all battling it out in prime Barclays again. Don't fall for the player career scam, the player career facade that EA give you in the base game. Like, come on, really? 4 icons to choose from in player career, and this was supposed to be a big flagship feature? Utter woke nonsense, I say, because with this retro database, you have got thousands of icons, legends, and heroes to select. Not only manage a career, but player career side of things, get a complete retro overhaul, and here it is in all its glory. I'm sorry, but career mode on PC is undefeated. It's just unmatched. You have to see it to believe it, lads. This is going to be an insane simulation to carry out in career mode. How is this going to go down? We're here with Prime Manchester United, and something else that this mod has done to revolutionize career mode. It's the financial system. It's completely different. It's actually not based on today's finances, like a 93 rated 19-year-old George Best in today's current transfer market would be worth easy 100 million, 200 million plus, but with this retro mod is only valued at 49 million. Same goes with Bobby Charlton, Van Nistelrooy, every everyone else. We've got retro player values activated, so you're not going to be seeing, 9-figure player values. The financial system's been tweaked to give it that retro feel, like we've just reset world football. And with teams like Manchester United, you're going to see the return of so many club legends, so many icons, and even cult heroes like Patrice Evra. There are some retro face scans, some new face models, and players who have had their face specifically created for this mod, like Dennis Irwin, Silvestre, Nicky Butt, Wes Brown, Anderson. Look, we have got over 40 players on the roster, the best of the best players who have ever put on a United kit from years gone by, and every player's age has been set to 19, so you could play a full entire career mode, so you don't have to worry about old players retiring straight away in season 1. They're going to be sticking around for the entire career mode experience no matter how far you go. Now the plot line thickens because even in this retro database, we've got some classic and historical players hidden away in the free agents. Here's a list of some retro talent that are currently unemployed in this database. They weren't good enough and or just don't fit into the senior squads that they're meant to be at because there's just too many players already there. This is just a treasure trove of players. You've got some cult heroes in there. You've got some legends of the past, some ballers who would have loved to be featured in a video game. We have a few glitches here and there, like David James's face not working, but they are very few and far between. Oh my god, Wagner Love. Nah, bro, only real guys remember this man. On FIFA 11, FIFA 12, all the memories, all the nostalgia just starts to flow back, and you can create some new memories and relive different eras of football in different centuries through this mod, and thanks to the detail and depth of this database. You've got Joachim Low back in his player days, and the wonder kid to end all wonder kids, the American Freddie Adu, aka the next Pele. You could take over careers of ballers you're familiar with, or sign up some generational talents that you never got to watch or play with and see how the new gen compare to the old gen. One of my favorite things to do while simulating is just take a look at all the old OG retro kits that pop up, retro badges and retro player mini faces. Like that team of the week, it's just a straight marvel to behold. Like the way your complete career mode experience gets turned on its head, and you never know what's gonna pop up in these simulation menus when you're just simming through the calendar. Everything from Mark Hughes at Blackburn to OG young Pep Guardiola at Man City. What else do we have in here? I mean, Graham Souness is very happy that Newcastle won the derby and this OG Premier League team of the week. I mean, where else are you going to see both Christian Benteke and Bobby Charlton in the same team? And when you're simulating through the transfer market, it's even better actually. I just saw, well, the Premier League team of the week has changed up massively. Who was made the UEFA? Let's take a look and see who have won all the major European honors, including Manager of the Year, which goes to Bayern Munich's Louis van Gaal. He must be cooking up something special with the retro Bavarians as Dede joins Aston Villa from Dortmund. We have a bunch of retro transfers going on, which we'll take a deeper look at, as the UEFA Team of the Year looks a little bit like this. We've got a classic 4-4-2 with Ronaldinho and Messi leading the line up top, Oliver Kahn in between the sticks, a back four consisting of Beckenbauer, Zanetti, Puyol, Facchetti, and the midfield is stacked. Xavi, Rivaldo, Laudrup, Matthäus, absolutely dominated by Barcelona players. Not a single Premier League player made it into the UEFA Team of the Year. And here are the 4 nominees for the 2024 Ballon d'Or. It's a completely different but familiar list, as we've got a retro Messi, Ronaldinho, Stoichkov, and Gerd Müller likely contenders to take it out. Why do I have a feeling it's going to be the boy from Rosario though? What's the bet? He rewrites history, and no, it's actually his teammate Ronaldinho. With the trademark braids, the classic bandana, he goes up to rewrite his own history, the Brazilian, to win the Golden Ball in 2024. I don't think you could see past him really. He's only 20, 94 overall already, a left wing / cam. No matter what he does throughout a campaign, he'd be a popular voting choice amongst the masses. Now, amongst the abundance of retro clubs and retro teams added to the game, there are actually a couple of retro youth academies and B teams hidden away in the database, more specifically in Spain, where we have Barcelona B and Real Madrid B. Just to keep that El Clasico rivalry going on, they both have their own academy teams, and it's mostly comprised of present-day players, academy talents developed in their ranks, and La Masia Youth Academy graduates for the most part. Even some retro academy stars. There's no way that's Lamine Yamal's dad. We need an investigation going on here, because who is this mustached man? We also have Fermin, who's been replaced by another retro mini face. So there might be some frauds, some intruders lying around as we take a look at Real Madrid, where they've got the likes of Vicente del Bosque, not only like a retro manager we saw before, but as a player. Young versions of Vasquez, Carvajal, Isco Disco. Is basically just a hub for all present day Real Madrid players. And it looks like we've got that similar problem here with Endrick's mini face. However, 99% of this squad file and retro database is historically accurate. You don't have to go out of your way to make a new formation and create a new tactical system. Every single team sheet is sorted with their own tactical variations you can switch upon at will. Now, some of my favorite new retro game face scans in this mod, the likes of Rivellino, he's got to be up there. I mean, just take a look at that glorious mustache. You can't look past Socrates with that trademark headband. These OG faces, like players that used to play in the 1950s, like Alfredo Di Stefano, quite impressive. Come on, guys, let's be serious. This guy alone, Higuita, is worth downloading this mod in its entirety. I love the way Kevin Keegan's retro hairdo has been recaptured in all its glory. A style which we've never seen before in a FIFA game. I'm sorry, but there's only one winner in my eyes. It's Edgar Davids who takes the cake for me. Come on, do I really need to convince you? He needs a hero/icon card 1000% in FC26. As an Italian, I can appreciate all the icon recreations and player models from, you know, Italy winning the World Cup back in the 80s. And it's satisfying to see someone like Francesco Totti make their debut in a FIFA game. And some of the major transfers that have gone down in this career mode universe. Over the course of both summer and January, the most expensive signing was Prime Xavi to AC Milan for £46.8 million, just recently featured in the Team of the Year. We have Cafu joining Real Madrid for £46.1 million, and Luis Suarez actually has his Liverpool mini face, but was currently at Barca, however has returned to the Premier League as a Spurs player. Him and Harry Kane up front would be absolutely deadly, as Alessandro Nesta joins Fiorentina for £37.3 million, and Willy Sagnol, the classic French right back who I've honestly never heard of. Same goes with Manfred Kultz, have both made big money moves. The same can be said for Manfred Kultz. The two right backs making big money moves, as we've got another right back on the move, Philipp Lahm, the German World Cup winning legend, joining Hamburg alongside Sean Wright Phillips. That's going to be one of the randomest transfer duos I've ever seen, as we have some classic Argentine players being sold on. Peter Shilton, the English keeper who conceded the legendary hand of God. Some superstars from previous generations are making the rounds in this transfer market, as OG David Alaba, that FIFA 13 profile picture, he joins Lille for £24.6 million. Everton are trying to tap into that retro bag because they've signed a player who has a black and white profile photo. Some famous surnames in the world of football are on the move, and some of these signings are absolutely god tier, because I didn't even know some of these managers were players, like Igor Tudor, who was most recently the coach of Lazio. I had no idea he was a former player. I guess ball knowledge on my part, but some of these players are going to make you take a second look, like Darren Bent. Why is he a centre back? What did they do to my boy? Was that his original position, or is that just a glitch? We've also got Buffon's cousin, Lorenzo Buffon, a fellow goalkeeper moving to Hamburg. They've been very active in this retro transfer market. There's a couple of present day players sprinkled in there. I've been managing United this whole time, so even I've had offers on the table for the likes of Mark Hughes, Silvestre, Dennis Irwin even attracted bids from Manchester City. Rio Ferdinand has had a few offers, and both Nicky Butt and Darren Fletcher have attracted some interest in January. Here are some more transfers that went down in another simulation that I did, with the most expensive deal being R9 Ronaldo moving to one of his former clubs, switching to AC Milan for £55 £54 million, leaving Madrid for Milan for £54 million at 95 overall. There's no way he wouldn't dominate the Ballon d'Or in this career mode, as Sanyol and Xavi both on the move again. Michael Ballack this time joins Deportivo La Coruña, who was a former Spanish powerhouse, so I guess that kind of makes sense. Cafu leaves Milan again, and Hamburg just love buying up some of the best talents in this mod. Colts makes the switch to Leicester, Philip Lahm leaves Bayern, Peter Shilton. I'm seeing a couple of repeat transfers, but a couple that are new, like Xavier Mascherano leaving Barcelona for Sunderland. Gilberto Silva leaves Arsenal, another black and white player. Juan Mata, back at his Valencia days, joins Udinese for £23.5 million. Some of these players I just hold near and dear to me, like Fabio Grosso, scored the winning penalty for Italy to win the World Cup in 06, Frosinone's greatest ever manager. Then we have someone who just lives rent-free in my head, Emmanuel Abue, pretended to know North Korean at the 2010 World Cup. And the list just goes on and on. Hold up, I think I've just found my favorite game face scan in this entire retro mod, Taribo West. What were you thinking with that haircut? I love it, but what was going through your mind? The Nigerian looks like he's got 2 carrots growing out of his head. What? Sure, he must have lost a bet or something. That is oh my god, I don't know whether to laugh or cry. That is beautiful, yet horrifying at the same time. Like, just 2 green sprouts popping out of your bald head. And it's those small additions and attention to detail that makes me love this retro mod. Here's how the classic Premier League table is looking at the end of the first season. And here we have the top 4, as Leeds and Liverpool tied at the top with 75 points each. But it was retro Leeds United to take home the Premier League title with 3 losses all season. Us with United were right behind them, dropping 2 points, and that eventually led to our downfall as Spurs made the top 4. It's good to see proper prime Barclays teams like Bolton up in 5th. Blackburn Rovers nearly cracked the top 10, as Man City, Arsenal and Chelsea all finish outside the top 6. Scrolling further down now in the relegation zone, we've got West Ham, Wolves and Crystal Palace finishing in rock bottom with 29 points, as 40 points were required. That's the golden rule. Middlesbrough survive, Sunderland survive. Man, those retro logos really do take you back, as it was Man City to win the Community Shield at the start of the season 1-0 over in the FA Cup. I can't access the FA Cup data for some reason. It's only showing me round 1. However, the European competitions went a little like this. Real Madrid won against Atalanta. Same goes for the Carabao. However, the European competitions go a little bit like this, as Real Madrid triumphed over Atalanta on penalties. After it finished 2-2, we've got the Conference League final set between Standard Liège and Legia Warsaw, as Frankfurt won the Europa League 3-1 against Real Sociedad in the final. It was Atletico Madrid to win the Champions League in a Madrid derby. They enact some revenge on Los Blancos, winning it 4-2 over the Galacticos, and we've got some retro teams partaking in this new Champions League format, the 36-team league phase that they've never had to participate in before, as the likes of Celtic, PSV, Sparta Praha finished in the top 8. We had the Belgians reign supreme in the UEFA Conference League, another competition these retro clubs and players have never had to participate in. If anything, it's just good to see Sir Alex back, smiling and happy again about Manchester United, instead of looking depressed on the sidelines. As the Premier League player of the season goes to Leeds United's Charles, and he double dips here because he actually makes the team of the season alongside a couple of his teammates like Jordan up front, Lev Yashin in goals. What a coup. They probably copped him from the free agency or something. That is an insane buy, and definitely helped them towards the title. 2 modern day players actually made it into the team of the season, Mavididi and Livramento. The Golden Boot race was very much a tight affair, a low scoring affair at that, with Arthur Frenderiech for Sunderland scoring 20 goals in 38 appearances. John Charles and Joe Jordan both netting 18 times for Leeds. Jimmy Greaves netted 17 goals. Nick Barmby for Leeds, again, another top goal scorer for them in the top 5. David Hurd with 17 alongside Mavididi, Ian Rush. Alan Shearer only managed 14th, finishing in the top 10. We've got Kevin Campbell, Geoff for Bolton, Benny McCarthy at Blackburn, Emmanuel Adebayor at Arsenal. That would piss off a few Arsenal fans. Sami Nasri at Man City, Ryan Giggs managed to sneak in 11 with Fernando Torres and Luis Suarez at Spurs right behind him. We've got some familiar faces in the assist charts with Joe Jordan and John Charles at Leeds just absolutely and utterly dominating. There's another move I didn't see. Ferenc Puskás made the move to Man City. The Golden Glove race was interesting too, as the American shot stopper Brad Friedel won it for Blackburn Rovers, only with 8 clean sheets in 34 appearances. We've got the likes of Jaskalainen for Bolton, title-winning Lev Yashin only with 6, Peter Schmeichel, Gordon Banks and Hugo Lloris, all similar in the standings. And I like how defenders are also involved and counted in the clean sheet race. John Terry up in the top 5 with 6. Yeah, I'm starting to see the vision how and why this Leeds squad won the Premier League. Like, they are absolutely stacked. A 5-star outfit, balanced in every department, and you know, having a 94 rated starting goalkeeper helps as well. Known for being a pioneer in the position does help you out, but their team is just so well balanced, so much depth, so much quality, and it's teams like Leeds United, these former powerhouses, that really benefit from this retro database, and you can still see that these players, these OG legends, can shine in the modern day. Low-key, one of my favorite attention to detail features here are the updated retro league icons. Whether you're in Germany, the Netherlands, Spain, or England, it shows you some of the former logos from the past. The country on the map with the flag colors in the background. You've got some retro logos representing different eras of that time, showcasing a bit of that heritage, that history, even in the likes of Romania. Not only club football, but the international side of the game gets its fair share of retro treatment here with the World Cup, the FIFA license returning. Not only that, but we have all the retro teams here in 2026. It's not that 48 team utter woke nonsense, it's the classic format, 4 groups of 4. Although it's only 24 teams were allowed here. The trophy's back, the licenses are back, and now we get to see the best of the best take on each other on the world stage. And marching their way to the big dance, we have an all South American final with the 2 heavyweights, Brazil versus Argentina. We've taken over Brazil just to watch it play out, but these are all the tournament results from the group stage. We had Uruguay and Netherlands make it through their group. Brazil topped it with 6 points, as France finished third with 4 points. Spain and Serbia came out on top of Group C, as Croatia and Chile topped Group D. Italia down in 4th. What happened there? That was a disaster tournament. A mini group of death there that saw the upsets, as England topped Group E alongside Greece, the United States finishing up in 3rd, and it was Germany, Argentina to rise to the top as Turkey and Belgium packed their bags. But in the round of 16, these were the matchups where Argentina humbled Greece. We had Brazil just narrowly make it through on penalties. Serbia knocked out a big heavy hitter and a favorite in the Netherlands 2-1. Spain took care of business 2-0 against Turkey. England won their matchup against Chile. A 9-8 win on spot kicks to take down Serbia after it finished 2-2. 17-16, Germany-Argentina. These are some of the wildest penalty shootout scores I have ever seen, as England took care of business 2-0 against Spain, and the semi-finals were quite straightforward. Argentina narrowly taking down England, and France were eliminated by Brazil. France ended up taking 3rd spot. And here we are. We have Hernan Crespo aiming to win that Golden Boot award with a cheeky brace in the final tonight. It could see him take it home, as both Lothar Emmerich and Ian Wright are ahead of him. Kostic, Gren, Gary Lineker, Papin, with the Spanish Luis Suarez, Socrates, Fernando Torres, Sucor, Papin, Gary Lineker. They're all scoring well on the charts, and leading the assist race is both Papin and Cliff Baston. Now, we can't advance without covering the retro match balls. There are over 40 added classic match balls from over the years, like this Champions League 2004/05 final ball, the Champions League final ball from 2012 to 13. We've got the OG Europa League ball with the retro logo and everything. The Adipure from 2010, the glider model. We have a retro AFCON Adidas ball here, which just looks absolutely spectacular. We've got another retro Europa League ball, an Adidas F50 Excite cyan color, another retro Champions League final match ball, the Finale 9 from 2010, the Adidas Tango from Euro 2012. Man, I got so many happy memories with this ball. Balotelli's favorite, the Tango 12, as we move on to the Adidas Tetapass, UEFA Super Cup match ball from 2009 in Monaco, some ultra specific ones here. We've even got the OG classic match ball from like the 1960s, match balls from Euro 2008, the FIFA Confederations Cup from 2009. We even have some Hummel makes in here. I didn't even know Hummel specialized in match balls, but we've even got some Kappa, the Seri 10.1A, the Lotto Helix Pro Mark II, the Macron Arrow, the Macron Jaguar, the Macron Super Brilliant 09. Now we're moving on to some elite territory here with the Nike Maxim EPL Barclays 2012 to 2013 season match ball. Nah, these are all classics. We've got the La Liga version, the Nike Total 90, Puma's League 1 ball from 09/10, another League 1 variant from 2012. We have the 1970 World Cup ball. Oh, don't you tell me they've got every single World Cup. 1974, 1978, 1982, 1986, 1990, 94, 98, World Cup 2002. Oh, bro. South Korea, Japan with that absolute hood classic of a ball. Germany 06, both variations. The Jabulani from South Africa 2010. They've got the final ball and the OG. The Brazuca from 2014. And to round it out, to just give it that chef's kiss, we've got the Brazuca from World Cup 2014. I don't know what to pick here. I'm spoiled for choice. Nevertheless, here's how Retro Brazil will be lining up tonight. And there are superstars galore, with Howard Webb being the referee. This is going to be an interesting one. The retro managers also apply to the international scene, so I think Diego Maradona's in charge, not only playing for Argentina, but managing them on the sideline. And this is just an absolute G-up, seeing all the retro players, all the face scans. The fans are hyped and ready for this 2026 World Cup final. The beIN Sports TV logo. I accidentally left on the UEFA Nations League scoreboard just to show it off in the international matches, and funnily enough, we get a World Cup final with two South American teams, so it doesn't really make sense. Just stick with me here, and I'm still running this game on the trophy glitched version of FIFA, so that's on EA, not the mod, as both squads line up for the national anthem. We've got the full World Cup pageantry. You're gonna see different types of flags, banners, confetti, and fan scarves all in the crowd. The retro stadium graphics also go kinda hard. And here's how Argentina are lining up, with a few familiar faces, some blasts from the past, and the official team sheet with Maradona the head coach. They're rocking with the 4-3-3, Batistuta, Crespo, Messi, Veron. It is an extremely OG lineup, but let's get into it. The goal net's mod applied, and with this camera angle, you can kind of see all the custom banners and retro little flags hung around all over the stadium. I just want to watch this one play out. Let's jump to tactical view and prepare for a blockbuster clash, as Brazil already on the counter attack. R9 Ronaldo cuts it back to Adriano, who cannons a shot, but it's a big save, and it's so open here. The Brazilian defense can't contain Batistuta as Argentina open the scoring here. Him and Crespo up top, linking together. A young Messi on the same team. This is just a retro fever dream. The three-man Brazilian backline just let them roam through, and he hit the 2010 World Cup South Africa Jabulani as sweet as he possibly could, and you even get the little retro goal pop-ups. Crespo, Batistuta linking up to hit Solari, and it's 2 goals in the space of a minute. Solari doubles the Argentines' advantage, and it looks like it is going to be a dominant display. This 3 at the back have left them exposed, and yeah, this is not looking good for Brazil whatsoever. Rivellino back inside to Adriano. He sits down his defender, and what's going on here? And if you know, you know. Howard Webb is officiating this World Cup final just like he did in 2010. There he is, the bold king that every Man United fan appreciates. And who would have thought Sir Alex Ferguson, a managerial matchup with the one and only Diego Maradona, managing himself in a World Cup final. And the 4th official, the one and only Pierluigi Collina. It looks like he's doing his best Dobby impression, but the referee is so iconic that he was on the front cover of both PES 3 and 4. Hernan Crespo finds Bocchini on the left-hand flank. He wants to link up with him, and Bocchini, again, these shots are absolutely lethal from Argentina. 3 shots on target, 3 chances, 3 goals. They have been absolutely lethal in front of net, and the Argentines in attendance can't believe it. Zico, there's so much space for Adriano here. The Argentinian defense lays off, and they've got one back just before half-time. The massive cult hero Brazilian striker, speaking of Pez, he was an absolute Pez icon back in the day with 99 shot power or something insane, and he's showing it off right here with that outside of the foot goodness. This is going to be a goal fest, isn't it? It is just open. No such thing as defending in this final, in this game. And I think that's the first save the Brazilian keeper's made all night. It's 3-1 at the break. The Brazilians have a mountain to climb as Argentina are in the box seat to win this 2026 World Cup with their greatest all-time squads doing battle. I think there's way more to come in the second 45. Like, these two benches are absolutely stacked. Brazil wasting no time here. They've had a big halftime team talk, and they want to cut back the deficit here. R9 Ronaldo wants to hit one near post. Corner set piece situation. Big ball inside. Socrates with the header. And who is this goalkeeper? Hamedo Carrizo is having the game of his life. And look at, who is that trying to give Sir Alex Ferguson managerial advice? Mate, this isn't... Stay in your lane, buddy. Stay in your lane. Argentina, they want to kill this game off here with Bocchini. Messi on the inside. He wants to get it onto his left, the young Messi. Or will he set up Crespo? And Argentina, they are taking off their goal scorer Bocchini and bringing on Manuel. Here we go, Sebastian Veron in the clear. All he needs is one shot, one chance. And at the near post, it is the ex-Lazio, ex-Man United midfielder to make it 4. They're dropping an absolute masterclass on this Brazilian defense who are just wide open. And they're making another switch, Crespo off. We got to make some changes now. It's a triple sub as Zico is off for Falcao. We're bringing off Rivellino. We're bringing on Garincha, taking off Adriano. We need some fresh legs out there, clearly. Pendenera, the Argentinian sub, who's just come on, literally waltzed through the Brazilian backline, and it is 5. The champagne football from the retro classic Argentinian national team, and they're having an absolute field day. Back inside to Lucio from centre back, and the defender's taken matters into his own hands here. It's a 7-goal thriller final. Why is he out celebrating? What are you doing, lad? Pick up the ball. Get the ball out the back of the net. You've got a lot more work to do, lad. R9 Ronaldo, he wants to bag one, and it's off the crossbar and post. That's how you know it's just not your day. One last substitution. We're bringing on Romario, who was an OG, like FIFA 14 legend back in the day, and was removed. Maradona didn't even play himself. 95 overall. The GOAT didn't even, but he's still on the bench. He sat there warming the bench with Di Stefano. Whether it's fiction or real life, Diego's still making questionable decisions. Nevertheless, Howard Webb calls it there, and he didn't need his 95 rated superstars to absolutely thrash Brazil in a 7-goal thriller. 5-2 was the final score as the all-time Argentines are crowned World Cup champions. It has been a stroll down memory lane, a throwback, turning FC25 into a football history museum. The retro players, retro managers, retro teams, even retro referees, look at them. All the OG graphics, match balls. I'll still never forgive EA for this career mode trophy bug. This glitch, thankfully it's fixed in Title Update 6. It is the all-in-one must-have retro mod experience. So shout out to the mod maker, Shadowboy32. I'll leave the Patreon and link to the mod download in the description below. If you made it this far and did go on to enjoy, make sure to drop the video a like down below, hit subscribe, turn on the noties if you want more FIFA, PC, footballing, modded gameplay content on this channel. I've been your boy Sir BCHD. Have a great day, and I'll catch you lot in the very next video. Bye bye.